This is the Dzogchen Semde Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For multiple decades, I spent about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that you would not have to. It is General Leia Organa Saturday evening. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi. Let us begin by sidestepping the bear trap of actively focusing and actively analyzing. For doing so could so exhaust both our medial and dorsolateral prefrontal cortices that it triggers our amygdala, the seat of both anxiety and aggression. Instead, let us cooperate with our... So, the way we're going to do this is to emulate the archetype of an enthusiastic piano student who is so enthralled with his score and his keyboard that he merely holds the sound of his metronome in passive peripheral awareness. As we passively notice our chest swelling with breath, let us silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this. For every time we inhale, we have evolved to automatically access the middle bit of our spinal cord, which functions as the core of our sympathetic nervous system, which has evolved to help us to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice all mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. All of them, from the external to the internal, from the physical to the mental, from the pleasurable to the painful, from the interesting to the boring, from the convenient to the arduous, from the glorious to the grotesque. But what are we to do with all this stuff that we noticed? Every time we passively notice our chest subtly sinking as gently we exhale, we could silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease, like Diana Ross singing Ease on Down the Road in The Wiz. Because every time we exhale, whether we know it or not, we have evolved to automatically access both the tippy top and the very bottom of this same spinal cord. These two regions, working together as a team, function as the core of our parasympathetic nervous system, which has evolved to physically relax and mentally release to such a degree that which we noticed during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel less stressful, less permanent, less defining, and as non-graspable as a vast, empty void. It would seem that a simile is only as effective as it is relatable. Therefore, we must ask the question, why? What is a real-world example of a non-graspable, vast, empty void? How about the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although could look tantalizing to the eye, could feel non-graspable to the hand? And there we have it. Whether we are discussing both no self and emptiness are merely figures of speech to poetically describe the experience latent in every exhalation. Now remember, both no self and emptiness are only available to us in a fleeting manner. For after our exhalation, once we begin inhaling, they are replaced with their opposites. Release is replaced with awareness over and over and over again. If that is the case, then what is the purpose of sitting and breathing and noticing and relaxing? Enlightenment. What if enlightenment was simply getting so good at the Buddha's Eightfold Path that we practice it spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively? Consider, if you will, the seventh and eighth folds that we just described. Right mindfulness and right meditation. They are the dynamo that drives the wheels and cogs of this enlightenment machine. For merely by sitting and breathing and noticing and releasing, we cannot help but physically experience an enhanced sensation of impermanence and no self and emptiness. Merely by sitting and breathing and noticing and relaxing, we cannot help but be kind. But practice. We cannot help but practice kind intention, kind communication, kind conduct, and kind commerce. Why? Why is that? Because by cooperating with both aspects of our autonomic nervous system, not only do we calm the anxiety and aggression of our amygdala, but we gently stimulate our anterior cingulate gyrus, which functions as the nexus of our mirror neurons, the seat of empathy, the root of compassion and love. Simply by sitting and breathing and noticing and relaxing, our choices and utterances and deeds begin to flow, not from contrived calculations, not from wild scatteredness, but instead from love's deeply centered spontaneity, which is known by many terms. Some could describe it as right effort. Others describe it as effortless effort. Some describe it as wu wei. Some describe it as going with the flow. Some describe it as being in the flow state. Some describe it as expedient means. Some describe it as our tathagata or Buddha nature. All of this is the effortless byproduct of sitting and breathing and noticing and relaxing. The moment you have a specific question about the philosophies or techniques that support meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window, for I tend to check for questions about once every 13 minutes or so. Let us begin. By using the tip of our left middle finger to support the lower knuckle of our right middle finger, palms up in our lap, thus keeping track of our first inhalation. To keep track of our next 12 inhalations, every time we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, let's advance our right thumb across the sets of creases, beginning with the set of creases at the bottom or base of our right little finger and working our way to the set of creases at the top of our right index finger. Please practice along with me. These 13 inhalations took approximately 1 minute. To meditate for an additional 13 minutes, let us keep track of an additional 12 sets of 12 inhalations each. To do that, I'm going to lift my hands off my lap and rotate them so you can take a better look at my left hand. Let us touch the tip of our left thumb to the lower set of creases of our left little finger to keep track of our next set of 12 inhalations each. Having counted 12 more inhalations, we advance the tip of our left thumb to the next set of creases. Perform 1 repetition of this ease. And then return our attention to our right hand and perform another set of 12 inhalations. Now that you get the basic idea of how this works, let us return our hands to our lap and continue. Let us return to our discussion of enlightenment. If mastering the Buddha's Eightfold Path is as simple as sitting and breathing and noticing and relaxing approximately once every 12 hours, perhaps that sheds light upon the penultimate passage of the Satipatthana Sutta, wherein the Buddha explained that one could master the path in as little as a week. to meditate for another 20 minutes, the following steps could be useful. To keep track of our next bonus round, we can slide the tip of our left middle finger up the back of our right middle finger until we come to its middle knuckle. To keep track of our next 12 rounds, we can draw our attention to our right hand. Every time we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, we can advance our right thumb across the sets of creases across our fingers, beginning with the first set of creases, the lower set of creases of our right little finger, working our way up to the higher set of creases of our right index finger. To keep track of our next bonus round, we can touch the tip of our left thumb to the lower set of creases of its little finger. To count our next 12 rounds, we return our attention to our right hand. To keep track of our next bonus round, we can slide the left thumb up to the next set of creases. And now that you get the basic idea of how this works, we can return our hands palms up to our lap. Having sat for the better part of an hour, we might find it refreshing to knock out 7 senior citizen style squat thrusts. If you wish to join me, I'll take a moment to swing my laptop around. Okay, and now we're going to do threshold rows. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. For Meditate Like a Jedi is made possible thanks to the generosity of viewers just like you. In approximately 11 hours, I would very much like to return to lead tomorrow's dawn practice of Meditate Like a Jedi. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.